Welcome back to the Baker's Journey. Today we're going to be making panini buns.
You want to be creative with baking. I heard so many people say to me time and time again that they don't like baking and that they only like cooking, and you cannot be creative because you have to follow a structure or a recipe. And that's just not true. Sure, baking is a science, but baking can be as creative as you want it to be. This is where Baker's percentages really can help you, and you can start developing your own recipes that are your own. Try developing your own recipes. Use the Baker's percentages that we've learned about. Get passionate about it and be creative. In our previous episodes, how to make Kaiser rolls, we talked about lean doughs and we made Kaiser rolls. We also discussed that we could make more than one type of bread from one dough. We discussed the differences between lean doughs and rich doughs. And we're starting to build this portfolio of different doughs that we can use to make a lot of different breads. The Kaiser roll recipe that we made was a hard roll recipe. And we can make other types of buns and breads from a hard roll dough. So basically a hard roll is made from a dough that doesn't have a lot of enrichment to it. So the dough we use for the Kaiser recipe can make a lot of different buns, such as subs, sandwich rolls, and panini buns. Every dough that we're making on this series is using a method that's called the straight dough method. And it's primarily used to make leaner bread doughs that contain little to no fat and they involve kneading. When we start talking about richer doughs, we will be using variations of the straight dough method and also learning different types of window panes to test for gluten development for lean and rich doughs. And we'll learn this when making our brioche bread. So interestingly enough, we learned in our previous video that Kaiser rolls or hard rolls originated in Austria. Another thing that's quite interesting is that Austrian baking techniques have influenced French baking throughout history, such as making of the croissant, which were formerly a crescent-shaped roll, and this inspired the French in around the 1800s. So today we're going to be making panini buns. So if you haven't made a Kaiser roll recipe, go check out our previous video. The process up until shaping the buns is pretty much the same. So we'll just give you a quick run through of how the whole process goes. It was fun learning today that we can use our previous recipes to develop different types of bread and buns. In our next video, as promised, we'll be making challah, which is a rich dough and highly enriched with eggs. So thank you again for tuning into A Baker's Journey. If you like our content, subscribe, hit that bell button, and I'll see you on the next video.